So today I want to go over TTL Flash because I've been introducing a lot of new flashes from Godox lately. And, for me, the TTL has been working fantastic, but I have a little leg up in the game because I've been using TTL for so long. When I do use it, I usually use manual, but I know a lot of people don't want to be bothered with that. They just want to use TTL. So today we're going to take a look at that and some of the mistakes you could be making. They're very simple, by the way. And, once you understand them, you're going to go, yeah, that makes sense. Now, Sony has a leg up because they pay attention to the faces. When you have face eye detect on, Sony's going to recognize that when you're using their flash and compensate for that. Other flashes don't do that. Now, as good as the Godox are, they don't, compensate for the face, but they're really good with TTL in other cases. And there's just little differences you can make to say, okay, well, this is what I have to do if I'm coming up to this scene with my TTL. And it'll work just fine. Now, here I have a big LED on and, the scene's pretty bright. I'm just going to shoot a quick picture to say, okay, what's the ISO? So I'm setting auto ISO. I will not use this for flash, but I want to show you because that's a big problem for a lot of people when they're using auto ISO. They're an aperture priority auto ISO and they're using a TTL flash. It really confuses the camera. So if I take a picture here, with my full LED on, it's saying ISO 100 is good for me. But if I'm at an event, this is not going to be my light. Unless I'm, at a daylight event or great lighting. So if I take that LED down, I'm at ISO 200. Now let's go to full event mode, which pretty much, and now I'm at ISO 640. So for me, if I went to an event and took a picture of this, and I'm at ISO 640, I'm going to go to 800 no matter what. That's fine for me. So we'll keep the light here, put it at ISO 800. Now, if I stay in aperture priority, I run the risk of going too low on my shutter speed. Even if you have your minimum shutter speed set, because we're at ISO 800, the camera may still go, yeah, I'm going to go lower on your shutter speed. So I like to set my shutter speed. So I'm going to set the camera to manual. My shutter speed, I'm going to put it, well, let's leave it at ISO or 200 for a second. ISO 800. And we'll set the flash to auto. No compensation. And we'll take our first shot. And we're pretty much on the money. You may think, oh, it's a little overexposed, but I don't think it is. Now, here's the thing. If I go up close and get a lot of that blacking, I'm going overexposed a little bit because I'm up close. I'm getting rid of the white as I'm in a little closer. It's picking up this more than anything. So it's going to compensate for that. She has black on. Remember, the more black or the more white, that's what you have to compensate for. If I go back and take an overall where it's a little bit wider, it's correct because it's reading everything in the image and I'm in matrix metering. It understands that this is the whole scene and it usually gets it correct in those situations. But coming up close, I'm going to majorly overexpose because this black is the majority of the image. So when you back up, I'm getting the correct exposure. Now, say you don't want to back up to it, but if you come up on the scene and there's a lot of black in it, people are wearing a lot of dark colors, all you have to do is subtract a little bit. I subtract the light, made it minus 0.3 this time. I could take it to minus 0.7, because I have a lot of black in it and the flash is going to want to push out more. I'm going to tell it, no, I don't want that much. It's correct exposure. Now, if she's in all white, okay, we have white backdrop. I know it's a sheet, but it's a white dress right now. She's in white, the white backdrop. What's it going to do? Use common sense because it sees all white. It's going to subtract from the flash, make the flash a little bit dimmer because there's so much white. Now, for me, most of the time, the IT30 is doing really good with this. I'd like to say it sucks, but maybe it's a touch underexposed, but I don't think I would compensate for it. Even if I did, it would be a plus 0.3. and I get the correct exposure. And that's what's nice about these new flashes. I mean, it's either a twist up here, like really quick, or you can just slide your finger to where you want to be. It makes it really quick. And again, on the Sonys, you can just do it right in camera. Okay, now let's switch to the V480 really quick because I haven't shown this flash yet. I know everybody's waiting to see this and how well it does. It's a little bit bigger than the V350. For those that you have that, a little bit more powerful. It's a really nice flash. Uses the same battery, but the new battery, even though the old battery can be used in the new flash, the new battery has the USB-C plug right in it, so you can charge the battery right from USB-C. So let's throw this on and see how this one does in these types of scenarios. The way they've been going with these flashes, I'm having a feeling this is going to be pretty darn good. But okay, TTL, zero compensation. It is spot on the money in TTL. And that's an all white scenario. Let's back up a little bit. Maybe a little underexposed because of the white. I don't think I would compensate for it. Let's get rid of this and try to trip it with a black outfit. We'll go in just a little closer. Yeah, it didn't trick it. I'll back up a little bit. Wow. This TTL is actually good. I'm anxious to see if I could trick this TTL at all. We'll surround her by a lot of black. Okay, this every single shot is like nailing it with the V480, which I'm really impressed with. Wow, that's a nice little flat. I'm kind of shocked. I want to go back to the IT30 Pro now with the black. Now, the IT30 Pro is really good. It's not as accurate as the V480. But again, a little bit of compensation. If you walk up to this scene at an event and you're using TTL, trying to make it real good, black, what are you going to do? You're going to subtract or add. I'm just going to let you go with that until you figure it out. Okay, TTL, zero compensation. And what did it do? It overexposed. Because it sees all this black, it's saying you need more light. So if you walk up to this scene, you know you're going to have to add or subtract light from it because it's going to say you need more. If I go up close and put mostly her face in, it's a little bit better, but not a lot. If I go back further, again, it's overexposing because of all the black. Simply subtract. Okay, so I'll just do a minus 0.7 and I'm absolutely positively on the money. So this is how TTL works for standard flashes. Like Sony will compensate for her face. If it's in face, eye detect, it's going to say, hey, there's a face in here, let's compensate for that. No other flash does that. But these flashes are very, very reliable in TTL if you know how to use them. If you approach a scene like this, you're going to have to subtract minus 0.7. If it was all white, maybe plus 0.3. Take the shot, walk up. As you're walking up to the scene, it's just a twist, just a little twist of the knob. Oh, I have to go minus, plus. It's that simple because this is the scene. Don't expect the camera and the TTL to go, I know everything and it's going to be perfect every single time because it's not. You just make little adjustments like this for this type scene, for what they're wearing, for the darkness, for the lightness, whatever it is, make the compensation. This comes with practice. Literally, I tell my students all the time, but I use her for my students. And I tell them all the time, like I sit in my house with the flash on the camera, and I've been doing this for days since I got this one, practicing, seeing what the characteristics of the flash are, what it's good at, what it needs help with. And by help, I mean, if you're using it in TTL, okay, what do I have to do to make the compensation if it's a darker scene or if it's a lighter scene or if it's a neutral scene altogether? If it's a neutral scene altogether, matrix metering, zero compensation, it's going to work every single time. It really is that good. The V480, same thing, but the V480 takes it a step further and actually recognizes this scene a little bit better than this one. One thing I didn't check with the V480. By the way, I will do a full shoot with the V480, and as far as it's better flash than the V350. Yeah. I love the V350. Don't get me wrong; it's a really small flash. It's nice to carry in my pocket. This one I absolutely love. Okay, so I didn't check to see if this thing can be controlled. It can be controlled by camera. So I'm going to subtract this 0.7. And that's the thing. The V480 doesn't even need the compensation in these type scenes. It's just nailing it every time, no matter what I do. But it's impressive. This TTL and this V480 is really impressive. The light, I'm going to try to turn it on because I know a lot of you are going to want to see it. Hear the modeling light, I guess. And I'll turn it up all the way. That would be blinding to people, I think, if they saw that. I don't know. A little bit blinding. But I mean, if you're in a situation where you need it, let's turn it up all the way so you can see. Wow, it's pretty impressive to me. This flash just doesn't miss. It's really good. I'm happy with it. So I know this video is a bit off the wall and scattered all over the place, but I just wanted to go over this TTL thing and help you, make the compensation you have to make the TTL systems work better for you. Again, to recap, auto ISO just doesn't work for me, and it doesn't work for a lot of people. And I know a lot of people want to use it, but when you're using Flash, forget it. Go into the scene, and if you don't know what your ISO should be set up, take a quick shot of the scene the way it is. If it's ISO 500, 600, I go to 800 automatically. As the night goes on, it gets a little darker. I'll go to ISO 1600 and even 3200, depending on the flash I'm using, because if I just want to touch a fill. Now, the other thing that people always ask me is, don't these make the image look flat? No. In most cases, because you're using this as an additional light, this is not the only light, it's not going to make it look flat. So if I'm using this as an additional light to this scene, okay, and I'm a little bit dimmer, I'm using this to fill. So I'm still going to get the shadow from the ambient light, and this is going to fill it just a little bit or give it a little bit of pop or give those eyes just a little bit more brightness. That's what I use these for, and they work perfectly for that. Yes, I did like them so much, I bought 2 more of these. I love these flashes. They're not perfect in TTL, but they're very, very good. The V480 is really good in TTL, which I'm really shocked. Where the heck is it? Oh, it's on the camera. I can't recommend this one enough. I thought I was just going to say, yeah, it's a great little flash. The V350 I always loved, but the TTL always sucked on it. This one is fantastic. I'm actually really impressed. Again, I'm not big on touchscreen, but it's nice to have it. And for the price, I think it's really good. I really highly recommend this flash. That's all I'm going to say. I love that they put the new battery in it that has the USB-C. Again, you can use your old V350 batteries, but this is brand spanking new. But underneath the tab there's the USB-C input, so you just plug in your USB cable and charge it. I'm 100% on the V480. Like, no offense or buts. This TTL is fantastic. Now, again, it's not going to be perfect every single time. And there's going to be some scenes where it just like, say you have a heavy backlit kind of scene where it's going to trick the camera into saying, oh, the light's not right. It'll compensate or over or undercompensate for the flash. Walk up to the scene and recognize it. If it's white, If it's black, if it's dark, if it's light, make the compensation for your TTL. Don't make the TTL do absolutely positively everything for you. Just give it a little hand here and there. And using two of these, one handheld, and I didn't do that. Let's throw that on really quick. I mean, this is why I got the two of them. Also to control the other flashes, but so I got to set this one up as a receiver, which is on A, and I'll set this one as a transmitter. Again, it's that little button. I hope you guys can see this, but so it's going out. So now this is a transmitter. Now I'm going to set this one at -2, the main one here, because I don't want it doing too much. And I'll put this one at 0, and let's see how it does. Now for me, I always shoot on wide. So I flip the wide switch, because handheld, you may be off a little bit either direction. With the wide, it doesn't matter as much, if you're off just a little bit. But let's see how this does in TTL. I think it's a little over, obviously, because of the black, it's overcompensating. Let's turn down this ambient light a little bit and try that. Yeah, I went down. It actually is doing really well now. Yeah, the TTL with this at -2, the main, because I don't want too much flash coming from the camera, and this at just 0 compensation, it's doing well, and I can create some shadows and some depth with it, and it works pretty well. So that's really good. So let's shut this one off and go to the V480 with this as the remote. I'll keep it the same settings, the -2 on the main flash here, and I'll put the V480 on TTL 0 compensation. It's solid. it's God, I hope you can see this without glare, but this is. So I'm thinking this is going to be my lighting kit for events. Most of the time I'll have this little one because I can just throw this in my pocket. When I need a little bit more boost, a little bit more power, I'll use this one. If I'm shooting a group shot or something like that. Yeah, believe it or not, this is plenty to shoot a big group shot. It really is. With cameras today, I don't shoot ISO 1600. I don't see anything. So this is really nice, though. I'm loving this setup. I love what they did with this flash. Anyway, I'm going to shut up and let you guys go. But I just wanted to show you some TTL tricks and techniques that I've learned, and to recognize the scene, recognize what the people are wearing, what the backdrop's like, and make compensation for that. Little plus 0.7 or minus 0.7 is all it takes to compensate for TTL when you're in difficult type lighting situations. Anyway, I'll shut up now. I hope this helped. I hope you got something out of it. And that V480, wow. Geez, I keep picking up the V350. They're somewhat similar. Oh, it's in my back pocket. Love that. Anyway, a nice flash. Yeah, 100% recommend. 100% love it. Thanks for watching as always. Oh, one more thing, because I know a lot of people are going to want to know. Does this cast a shadow with, a longer lens? Yes. Unless you're zoomed in, it's going to cast a shadow. So if I zoom into 70, I don't have a shadow at the bottom of it. Okay. But if I'm wide, I'm getting a shadow down here. I'll just shoot the back so you can actually see the hard shadow. So that's the hard shadow. But zoomed all the way in, this shadow disappears. But even if you're just a little bit out, you're going to pick up that shadow. Get rid of that display. See, there it is. It's just that little bump. And that's the, just out to 50. Let's try 60. Yeah, it's still there even at 60. So zoomed all the way into 75, there's no shadow. If I remove the, so even if I remove, I still have the shadow. I can probably go into 50 and get rid of it. Yeah, at 50, it's gone without the lens hood. So here's the thing, and this is between you and I and the fence post because I don't think it's supposed to be known yet, but there may be an extension coming very soon, TTL extension that will raise this a little bit. So no matter what lens you're using, it'll work. That's exciting for me. That's a really exciting news because I know a lot of people and myself that, hey, I just want to use this lens, but I love this flash. I want to use this flash, but I can't because of the shadow. Raising it just a little bit is going to be everything. So hopefully that's in the works and it'll be done soon, but that's between you and I can't say that because, I don't know that officially. Just saying.